Good morning, welcome, and thank you for joining us for the second annual Melrose Arts and Culture Summit, the second annual one. Thank you. Can everyone hear me? And it's not too much. Perfect. My name is Maggie Moore Abdow. I'm a longtime Melrose resident, parent of 2 children in the Melrose Public Schools, proud arts consumer and professional, and I'm the chair of the Messina Fund, along with my fellow advisory members who are in the room. Thank you and welcome. Before we begin today, I'm going to let Betsy step up, Betsy Garrett, who's going to lead us through a land acknowledgement.
Hi, I'm Betsy. Melrose, where we're meeting today, is located on the ancestral lands of the Massachusetts tribe, the tribe of indigenous peoples from whom the colony, province, and commonwealth have taken their names. We pay our respects to the ancestral bloodline of the Massachusetts tribe and their descendants who still inhabit historic Massachusetts territories today. And this photograph is from a Machoon burning that was held last fall on the shore of the Mystic River, creating a canoe from a tree through continuous burning. The joint project of the Nipmuc and Massachusetts tribes reenacted a sacred and communal indigenous tradition that has been handed down through the generations and is over 10,000 years old. You can find out more about the project and see more pictures at the website of the Massachusetts tribe, at massachusettstribe.org.
Thank you, Betsy. And thank you, Betsy, for curating the awesome Melrose-related and Melrose local artists Spotify list that you got to hear in the hall out there. It's fantastic. And ask us if you want to get that Spotify list because it's fantastic. Now I'd like to introduce Mayor Paul Broder for a few words.
All right, everyone get comfortable because I got a microphone. I just want to thank all the organizers and folks, and particularly our electeds and Michael Bobbitt. Michael Bobbitt has been a leader in the arts for a long time and is. When did you take over the reins of Mass Culturals?
2 years ago.
2 years ago in February. Easy time to get involved in the arts, right, in the midst of a pandemic. But I'm so glad that this has grown this way. But I'm a politician, so I want to say something a little bit about the politics. And that is, make arts a part of the conversation. It is easy to separate out a lot of things from politics and public life. A lot of money and support comes from the government at all levels. It's always an election year in Massachusetts. I urge you all to make arts funding and arts support part of that conversation. I think it might not even be such a bad idea to have a specific forum dedicated to arts and culture in Melrose as part of our upcoming elections. That's kind of up to the community. But regardless of what happens with that, so excited you're here. We know that it is part of our creative economy. It means a lot to every single member of this community. And I just want to plug a couple things. This is my son's, the Besquite thing, so I can't really take credit for that. Local creative arts. And a plug for Mark Arelli, who's a local musician, has a new record out. If you get a chance, go see him at I think it's called the Winter Ballroom. It's basically the Somerville Theater, a little bit later in the month. And super important to do that because Mark actually launched his newest record, starting off with a GoFundMe or crowdsourcing. So a lot of you already paid for it, so you might as well go see it. Thanks a lot. And I am kicking it back to Jen. Nope, I'm kicking it back to Maggie, our intrepid leader. Go to it.
Thank you, Mayor. More thank yous. I would like to especially thank the Massachusetts Cultural Council, especially Michael Bobbitt and Carolyn Cole, if she's with us today yet. There. Hi, Carolyn. Thank you. You'll get a chance to interact with both these folks later in the program, but I also want to call out the fact that the investment that the MCC has made, and specifically in Melrose, just most recently with a large amount of cultural recovery sector grants during a time that's super critical for arts organizations and recovery. We know it's going to be a much longer track for these organizations and individual artists, and the MCC has invested over $177,000 to 19 organizations and artists in Melrose alone in this last round. So I think that deserves an applause, people. Thank you to Senator Chair of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Paul Mark, State Representative, Kate Lipper Garbedian, who is unable to be with us today but sends her support, Mayor Paul Broder, of course, for supporting this event and advocating for the Messina Fund, which is the city's commitment to arts and culture, to be adequately funded to allow Melrose arts and culture workers to advance projects that contribute to economic vibrancy. And he said in the city state address that he's pledging to double that. City council members for joining us, and our host here at the Melrose First Congregational Church, Tom Froth, and MMTV, who's recording this, and of course for the Yummies, Bohemian Coffee House and Starbucks. A couple of housekeeping things for you to consider. Accessible bathrooms are near the on this side, and there's more bathrooms near the kitchen. There's wonderful high school volunteers outside to help you if you have any questions. Please don't wander the church. There are other meetings happening along the space and in classrooms. And you can, of course, reach out to any one of the Alliance members if you require assistance. Now I would like to introduce art enthusiast, professional, our leader in many ways, Jen LeClaire of the Melrose Creative Alliance.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I got my phone in front of me so that I can keep track of time and be quick. Today, everything about today is meant to be participatory. There's things to do out front. There's table discussions that we're going to have. But this is also, we're here to collect your feedback. So even this part of the program is participatory. So you've already gotten that vibe. I hear the clapping and stuff. So anything that you like that you're hearing, please let us know. We're here today because of the work that all of you do. Our artists, musicians, writers, storytellers, performers, creative entrepreneurs and creative small businesses, and our placemakers, our placekeepers, and our organizations who create spaces for community and creativity. So we're here because of the work that you do. So having said that, you might be wondering, well, then who the heck is the Creative Alliance and what do we need you for? Well, the thing is, in Melrose, we have hundreds of these arts and cultural assets. But last year, a group of us kind of got together and we realized a light bulb went off kind of as we were coming out of COVID and as people were trying to think about arts and culture recovery. And we realized that we have all these wonderful things in Melrose, but there hadn't yet been a single city commission, board, nonprofit, or organization whose sole mission is the care and stewardship of our arts and cultural assets as a formal sector. So last year, this time, a lot of you were there. Remember our awesome Lego work with our friend Christopher. We all got together at the temple in Melrose to do a temperature check on our arts and cultural organizations and see how everybody was doing coming out of COVID. And we worked together. We spent 4 hours together that day, if you remember. And we asked 2 broad questions. What's our vision for arts and culture in Melrose, and what does it take to get there? So the Melrose Creative Alliance is a group of 16 volunteers who work together, and these volunteers represent all of the disciplines that I mentioned, as well as representatives from the city, the Council on Aging, the Human Rights Commission, and many more. And our work is about public information, advancement, and advocacy for arts and culture in Melrose. So we gathered everybody last year at the first summit, like I said, and this is what you told us. We gathered all the notes. We made sure we heard from everybody. The priorities from all of you were clear last year. One was The first, by far, was the idea that this work is important and deserves to be robustly funded, including paid human resources to get this work done. Also, our commitment to diversity, equity, access, and inclusion in the arts. And then a need for robust tools and services for public information, right? Getting butts in seats, frankly, and for the community to easily find ways to support our arts and culture and support our local artists. An interest in development and networking and social networking among creatives, collaborations, professional development, things like that. And then equitable access to right-sized and affordable space to do your work. So those were the things that you told us last year. So we got together, again, this group of folks who said, we're ready to do this work. We got together and we've launched 3 initiatives to start. So this is what we've done over the last year. The first thing that we did was we launched what we're affectionately calling the Hive. It's more than a website. It's a portal, and it's a resource center for artists and creatives and cultural workers. So you can visit it. It's at melrosecreativealliance.org. There's QR codes out front if you want to take a look. Some of the features of the Hive are directories of our artists and creative workers, as well as organizations and small businesses. If you're an artist and not signed up, you can sign up to be listed on the site. We have event and calendar listings of everything that you're doing. The key being, none of you yet have had to sign up for anything or fill out a form. Our team has found all the things that you're doing and just put it up there for you, so it's a service. We also have a newsletter so that we can help you elevate your work and get the information out to people, so you don't have to rely on them coming to our site. So we've partnered with Melrose Arts to do a pretty robust newsletter, and then also partnered with the city, with Parks and Rec, with the Council on Aging, with the school backpacks to continue to get the newsletter out. So check that out when you can. We launched something called Creative Connect, which is professional development and networking opportunities for artists. We had a fun social at Santa Fe Burrito not long ago. Probably be there after today. And we partnered with the Cultural Council, the Messina Fund, and the Rotary Club and others to do Pitch Perfect, which basically introduces artists to some of the funding sources in Melrose. And then last and most recently, we're working directly with Mayor Broder's office and with the city to officially launch our formal application for a state-designated arts and cultural district for downtown Melrose. And again, thank you, Mayor Broder, for addressing this and bringing this up and committing to helping to fund the work that will go towards us and to all of you to activate that district and promote the district. Minute 46 to be exact in the mayor's State of the City address, if you want to skip ahead. So some of our milestones this year, so we are incorporated under the Community Coalition of Melrose as a 501c3, which means we can raise money. We're committed to trying to raise additional money so that we're not competing with all of you for limited funding that we know sometimes is available in Melrose. So we're looking for sources of funding that together collectively we qualify to get for capacity building and things like that, rather than what you all are looking for individually for your own organizations. We launched the Hive, like I said, and have started forming partnerships, are interested in doing more. We attended the city's Office of Planning had a wonderful open house for the new parks and open space planning that the city is undergoing. If you see outside, we stole all their good ideas of the sticky notes and things like that, and we had a really constructive conversation with the planning department to please consider arts and cultural as part of the planning for our open spaces. We are one of the recipients of a cultural sector recovery grant, so thank you very much again to the Massachusetts Cultural Council. It's allowing us to kickstart our work, and I already mentioned the mayor's support for the Messina Fund. So today, what we're going to do, it'll be similar to last year. Today, together, we're going to set our priorities for 2023. We're going to build new networks. You're going to meet some new people. We mixed up the tables outside on purpose. We are power in numbers, so we're here right now advocating for the work that we're all doing together. We're going to advance that district application, and we're going to welcome some very special guests today. So I'd like to start first by introducing Senator Paul Mark. He is the chair of the Joint Committee for Tourism, Arts, and Culture. And just a couple quick examples of some of the advocacy work that he's done, particularly with Mass Creative and his colleagues in the legislature. I'm just pulling out two of interest. The PLACE Act, which allocates a % of construction costs on Commonwealth-owned properties that will be allocated, the percent will be allocated to public art. And then this one I particularly love, an act on improving accessibility in the creative economy. We have a lot of people in this room who are going to support that work. So thank you, Senator, for that work. And the Senator is going to say a few words and then introduce our special guest.
Thank you. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for having me here. Sorry, I don't feel great today, so I'm going to be pretty brief. Thank you to Mayor Broder for suggesting that I come out here, and thank you always to my friend and colleague, Senator Jason Lewis, for being here to take part in this. So a couple of weeks ago, I was named the chair of the Joint Committee on Arts, Tourism, and Cultural Development, and coming from a district in the Berkshires, where arts are one of the main industries that drive our region, that promote our local economy, it was a really great opportunity, I thought, to get involved in a sector that is so important to not just the Berkshires and Western Massachusetts, but I think that can be key to all over Massachusetts. So when I heard from Mayor Broder that there was an arts summit in Melrose, which I should say, I have 57 cities and towns in my district, but me and Mayor Broder in the House were classmates, and Melrose has always been the 58th because the man never shuts up about Melrose. And I wish I was kidding. I was really honored to be asked to come here and just say a quick word. And so, first, thank you to the people of Melrose for making this a priority, for making sure that you realize the full potential of the arts and of fostering culture and all the great things it can do for not just the economy, but for our society as well, and our very Commonwealth. And then it's my honor to quickly introduce Michael Bobbitt, who I've had the chance to know for the past couple of years, because again, in the Berkshires, with so many arts and cultural activities, you would run into Michael and people get really excited. Oh my God, Michael's coming. And it would be wonderful, and you'd shake his hand quickly. But only over the last couple of weeks have I really been getting to know you better and know some of your work in the arts community yourself from before you were the executive director of Mass Cultural Council. And so it's really wonderful to have you here in Melrose and have you supporting the arts and doing the great work that you do. So thank you for being here. Without further ado, Michael Bobbitt.
I don't really know what I'm looking at. I think my husband was off to the side making a funny face while I was taking that picture. Thank you so much for your kind introduction, Chair Mark. When your appointment was made, I think I did a little happy dance. I also just learned it's pronounced Berkshires, which is good because I'm from Maryland, and so sometimes we say Peabody. Or, but it's like Worcester. So anyway, funny story, when I went to visit Stoughton, I had Anne, if you've ever emailed me, Anne sort of takes care of me, but I had to have her record how to pronounce Stoughton in a message, because it could be Stuffton, it could be Stoughton. So anyway, so I'm going to say Berkshires now. Thank you. Good morning, folks. Thanks for inviting me here to the Creative Arts and Culture Summit. I will go out on a limb and say I think this is the most important room in Melrose today. Yeah. Thank you to the Creative Alliance for connecting creative Melrosians with one another and with resources to power a vibrant arts and culture sector. Huge thanks to Senator Jason Lewis for being here. I had coffee with Rep. Kate Lipper-Garabedian this morning, and she's a huge supporter. If you don't know them, please get to know them. Put them on your VIP lists, invite them to your things, maybe get them to participate in art. I'm sure they will put some glitter lotion on and dance in your recitals if you need it. Super supportive. I also want to do a shout out to Carolyn Cole, who is just amazing. We've known each other from our days doing theater in DC. If you ask nicely, maybe she will sing for you. She's shaking her head no. Carolyn was like a mega star, like you couldn't even book her. I tried many times and she was like, no, I'm booked for the next year and a half. So Carolyn is an amazing talent, and I'm so happy that we get to work together in this new world. Randy Cohen, Vice President of Research and Policy at Americans for the Arts, says, the arts and culture sector is a vital part of our economy, providing jobs and income, attracting visitors and generating tax revenue, but its value goes beyond mere economic impact. It enriches our lives, inspires us, and helps us to understand the world and our place in it. I know that I am preaching to the choir. I know that you all believe that this is true, but your leadership, Mayor Paul Broder, publicly announced that he wants to double the support, the Messina Fund, and he wants to support this cultural district. That's huge, my friends. The citizens, yes, please. The citizens of Melrose and everyone who lives, works, and plays here will reap the benefits of that investment. So I certainly hope the City Council will support the mayor's recommendations. I don't hear from mayors that often. I don't expect to because they're busy leading cities and towns. But your mayor, I've heard from more than any other mayor in the Commonwealth. Your mayor literally walks around wearing art. So thank you for being a model for other mayors, and I may have to parade you around when I get other mayors in a room together to show how it should be done. And I also think the Alliance is another model of how arts can be at the center of everything that's happening. I don't know if you've heard the good news, but Massachusetts is making some record-breaking investments in arts and culture. Governor Healy recently recommended a whopping $25 million budget for the creative and cultural sector. That is $5 million more than our outgoing governor's highest recommendation, and it's an 11% increase from this year's allocation. Also, thanks to our great partners in the State House, Mass Cultural Council has awarded $51 million in pandemic recovery to cultural organizations and artists across the whole state. That is $4,000, $5,000 grants to individual artists, 98% of whom were first-time grantees of Mass Cultural Council. And that is 1,218 organizations. 47% are brand new grantees to the cultural sector. That's huge, my friends. That's really, really huge. And I just wanted to shout out a couple of people and organizations that have got some of that pandemic recovery money. And let me just also say, Chair Mark said that when I started the job, it was in the middle of the pandemic, and I just remember skipping that course in arts management school. And so to have this money to support you all has been amazing. So congrats to Open Doors Projects, Polymnia Choral Society, Pots on Wheels, Follow Your Art, Community Studios, Filmmakers Collaborative, Miras Boston Kazakh Cultural Foundation, and several individuals, Taze Mapstone, Ariel Freiberg, Ola Watobu Makinde, Adam Liu, Eden Sun, Randall Polenka, Mark Arelli, Jen Malone, Florence Lee, Steve Aldius, Christopher Robinson, Daniel Babai. Congratulations on your funds. And let's hope we can make some more of that happen. Um, the record-breaking investments is a huge win for the creative community, and I'm excited to see how it will help boost the art scene in Massachusetts. And as you know, engaging with the arts has also shown to have a positive impact on mental health and well-being, improving the quality of life and reducing healthcare costs. And right now, we need that more than ever. More than ever. Yes. Your creative sector can be a vital part of the community's well-being. And creativity, as you know, can solve many of the world's problems. Take any issue and put it in a room of creatives, and you'll walk away with dozens of ideas to explore. Creatives spend their day and night dreaming of the future and making things happen and dreaming of worlds that don't exist. They are an asset to communities. I know a bunch of people probably in this room that as they're walking down the street, they might see old furniture tossed on the side of the street, but they don't see it as old furniture or trash. They see it as an art project. And nothing is safe, right? So I know a bunch of creatives that will turn your lamppost into arts and your fire hydrants and your children and your dogs into art. It's amazing. Involving creative partners in city initiatives and planning decisions is essential. By working with artists, designers, and other creatives, we can create a more vibrant and engaging spaces that will benefit all residents. Artistic expression and engagement with the arts can foster creativity, imagination, and innovation, which are crucial skills for driving positive change in community. As the community grows, bring these creative partners into those decision-making rooms and harness their creative power and make your communities even better than they are. I leave you with this one quote from philosopher Richard Florida. The creative class is a key driving force behind economic growth and prosperity. Across the world, it is this group of scientists, engineers, architects, designers, artists, entertainers, storytellers, and other knowledge workers that is transforming our cities, powering innovation, and advancing human progress. Support the arts. Thank you, friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I could go on in terms of gratitude and my personal pride. Look into my eyes. My pride that you came to my hometown. Okay, thank you. I could go on, but I'm not going to go on. I want to translate the abstraction of those numbers and the revelry into some practical action. All right? We're going to segue our time now into some action. All right? So I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to ask you for a couple of permissions. I'm going to give you a couple of directives so that we can segue right into action. Right at the top, we were giving a lot of information, a lot of data, right? It's a lot to consume. Let's simplify into small, discrete parts so that we get your ideas in some archival spaces. Okay, follow me? Great, all right. So here's the framing for how we're going to do that. 7 letters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 letters in sequence spell the word notable, N-O-T-A-B-L-E. But we break that word up. We reallocate space between the words. The first letter and the second letter of notable spells the word. Okay, the first, second, and third letter of the word notable spells. Now, after you remove the no, you have the 5 remaining letters which spells. And when you remove the N-O-T from that word, you have able. The notable professor was not able to teach because they had no table. Notable. Not able. No table. They're tools and a mental structure that we need in order to do this work. I would like to ask you, if possible, if you have a little bit of time, to give me an alibi to my wife, wants to make sure that I'm actually here. So we might want to take some pictures with you. Some of the elected officials in the room, just for the sake of me not being in any trouble. We'll do that in a minute. We're going to segue into the lobby area, in which you have name tags that identify which table we're recommending you go to participate in allocating what is notable to you in terms of your ideas, what needs attention, right? What are the obstructions, the barriers? What are you just not able to get done, right? And then we segue towards solution. Well, if I had a table, had a platform, a structure of some sort to implement the idea or remove the barrier for that notable thing that I want to aspire to. Okay, that's how we're going to frame those things. So we've made all those abstractions and all those numbers into something a little bit more manageable, all right? And we're capable of doing this work. So I'm encouraging you that we're going to segue into the lobby area as well. You're going to have a little muffin, have a little coffee. I'm going to call it 10 minutes a time. It's really 15 minutes a time. But let's act as if it's 10 minutes a time for you to socialize, cleanse your mental palate, all right? And then bring to the forefront those notable issues, desires as artists, all right? That you want to get on table so that we can then move beyond, get to this place where we were just talking about this morning. Well, if we're going to double the funds, we got to pay people to do some things. Well, what is that going to look like? How's that going to manifest? All right. So rise to the occasion if you can. Let's stretch. Come on, raise on. We're in the sanctuary, y'all. Rise on up. All right. We're going to migrate into the room at which I will give you further instruction. So you will hear the God voice in the other area as well. We're going to take some pictures with the elected officials in a moment. We'll see you out there in the lobby area. Thank you for your time. Let's get working.